The story begins in a magical kingdom, where the king is super excited because his birthday is just 3 days away. To prepare for the grand celebration, the royal chef Pastry presents his special menu to the king. Delicious pastries, juicy chicken legs, golden roasted turkey, and finally, for dessert, a tray full of biscuits. But the moment the king is about to eat a biscuit, something strange happens. All the biscuits suddenly come alive and start running around the table. Wherever they touch food, magical energy bursts out. The very last biscuit jumps into a bowl of spaghetti, and suddenly, the spaghetti comes alive, turning into a terrifying spaghetti monster. Using its long noodles, the monster ties up the chef and the servants, then traps the king along with his chair, lifts him into the air, and kidnaps him right in front of everyone. The royal guards immediately inform the prime minister that the king has been kidnapped using powerful magic. But the prime minister refuses to call the army, because panic and chaos in the kingdom must be avoided at all costs. Instead, he announces that this case will be handled by SMCA, the Secret Magic Control Agency, an elite organization that secretly monitors even the smallest magical activity in the world. And just like that, the mission to rescue the king begins. Top SMCA agent Gretel follows her first lead to a circus run by a suspicious ringmaster. At first, she believes he's hiding something dangerous, but soon discovers that he has illegally captured magical creatures and locked them in cages for his circus shows. After arresting the ringmaster and his guards, Gretel frees all the magical creatures. Grateful for her kindness, a magical mermaid gifts Gretel a special necklace as a token of thanks. Gretel returns to SMCA headquarters and reports the bad news: they've reached a dead end. This is extremely dangerous, because the king's birthday is only 2 days away. If the public finds out the king was kidnapped, the entire kingdom could fall into chaos. That's when the prime minister suggests something unexpected. He tells the head of SMCA, stepmother, that they need someone with a criminal mind, someone who can think like a thief, someone bold enough to steal in broad daylight. Everyone says the same name: Master Hansel, the legendary trickster who once stole the king's famous statue right in front of everyone. At first, stepmother refuses, but after some convincing, she agrees to take the risk. And the biggest shock? The mission to arrest Hansel is given to Agent Gretel herself, because Hansel is her own brother. For Gretel, duty comes before family, always. But beneath his criminal image, we also see his softer side. After the show, a poor girl approaches him, holding her sick little sister. She asks to borrow Hansel's magic amulet, believing it can cure illnesses, because she can't afford a doctor. Hansel knows the truth: the amulet is fake. So instead of lying, he secretly gives her real magic gold coins and sends her away, warning her not to tell anyone. Moments later, Gretel arrives with SMCA agents and arrests Hansel. Hansel is taken through a barber shop, where a secret password opens a hidden passage. Through it, he enters a massive underground world, the high-tech magical headquarters of SMCA. Hansel is stunned. He is presented before stepmother, who explains everything and announces that Hansel and Gretel will work together to rescue the king. Both immediately refuse. Gretel sees Hansel as a disgrace to the family. Hansel has no interest in working with secret agents. But then, stepmother makes them an offer they can't ignore. If they rescue the king within 2 days, Hansel will receive a level 18 sorcerer license, allowing him to live freely forever. Gretel will receive the Best Agent Award, her biggest dream with no other choice. They both agree, even though Gretel still wants to work alone. After leaving the headquarters, Gretel takes Hansel to the magic R&D division. The moment Hansel steps inside, his eyes light up with excitement. He sees legendary artifacts everywhere: Aladdin's lamp, Thor's hammer, the 7-league boots, and many other magical items. For Hansel, it feels like a dream come true. They meet stepdaughter, the brilliant tech expert of SMCA, who equips them with special gadgets for their mission. She hands them special magic glasses that can detect magical signs, a magic watch, a magic orb that can open portals to travel anywhere, anti-step bubbles, and a special serum extracted from the king's enchanted food. She explains that if this serum is brought near the mysterious poison used in the kidnapping, it will change color from green to red. Stepdaughter also gives them a list of all the places where ingredients for the king's food were purchased. After studying the list, Hansel grows suspicious of one place in particular, a local pastry shop, and so they decide to check it out. The scene shifts to a young woman working inside her kitchen. She is preparing a special vanilla potion, surrounded by living biscuits and cupcakes that move and work like servants. At that very moment, her magical spaghetti monster brings the kidnapped king to her. The king instantly recognizes her. She is Elvira, a former royal chef who was banished from the castle for using black magic in her cooking. The king tries to bargain, offering her wealth and power, but Elvira has something else in mind. She plans to use her potion to make the king fall in love with her, so she can rule the kingdom herself. Back to Gretel and Hansel. They enter the pastry shop, but everything looks completely normal. Hansel, being a master thief, senses something is off. Using his skills, he carefully passes through magical defenses and finds a secret chamber. Inside, they discover adorable but dangerous living cupcakes created using black magic. While they look cute, Gretel notices something more disturbing: a locked secret room. She sneaks toward it and signals Hansel to move quietly, but Hansel underestimates the cupcakes cupcakes, thinking two tiny pastries can't hurt him. Big mistake. The cupcakes raise an alarm, summoning a giant magical dog, which immediately starts chasing Hansel. While Hansel distracts the dog, Gretel searches the locked room and finds thousands of potions. Among them, she discovers a vanilla extract. When she brings the serum close to it, the color instantly turns red. They've found their proof. Just then, Hansel and the dog burst into the room, still chasing each other. They run up the stairs, and the dog spins the staircase wildly, knocking over shelves filled with potions. The potions crash, mix together, and explode into colorful smoke. The entire room fills with glitter, colors, and magic. As different potions splash on them, everyone keeps transforming into chairs, horses, and random objects. Finally, the building collapses into chaos. One potion's effect hits hard. Gretel, Hansel, and even the dog turn into small children. Now stuck as kids, Gretel and Hansel get into a cute but angry argument, each blaming the other for the disaster. They panic, wondering how they'll return to their original forms. That's when Gretel realizes the cause: motion fungus and Baba Yaga's magic, known for turning people into children. Gretel insists they must return to SMCA headquarters because only they can fix this, but no one takes them seriously. Every time they try to enter, they're kicked out. Still, Gretel refuses to give up. Despite Hansel's protests, she repeatedly tries sneaking into HQ from different routes, but fails every single time. Finally, Gretel makes a bold decision. They won't go back to SMCA. They'll go straight to the source. Gretel decides they must visit Baba Yaga, deep inside the Greek forest. Hansel strongly objects, warning her that Baba Yaga is infamous for eating children, but Gretel doesn't listen. Determined, she steals a bicycle, and the three of them head straight toward Baba Yaga's forest. Hansel keeps dropping anti-step bubbles all along the way as they finally reach Baba Yaga's hut. The hut itself is magical, alive, mysterious, and unsettling. When Baba Yaga sees two children without parents, she happily invites them inside. She introduces herself as Granny Yaga, offers them biscuits, and calmly starts answering Gretel's questions. Hansel feels something is wrong. He refuses to eat, but Gretel, fully trusting Granny Yaga, keeps eating the biscuits peacefully. Gretel asks about the vanilla potion. Granny Yaga tells her about the mighty lake witch, who lives near a massive volcano. But suddenly, Gretel looks at the biscuits through her magic glasses and freezes. She sees dark magic inside them. In that instant, Gretel realizes the truth. Baba Yaga plans to put them to sleep and then kill them. Gretel quickly takes Hansel and the puppy aside and pretends they're getting sleepy. Once alone, she tells Hansel everything. She asks him to sneak into the kitchen and steal the moon gem, the only thing that can break the sleep spell. Now everything depends on Hansel, because he's the only one who didn't eat the biscuits. Using his clever talking skills, Hansel distracts Baba Yaga, and she unknowingly hands him the moon gem herself. Hansel rushes back and wakes Gretel and the puppy, but Baba Yaga suddenly realizes it was all a trick. She storms toward them. Just in time, they escape into the attic and flee using a flying mortar. Before leaving, Gretel sets Baba Yaga's house on fire. They now need to reach the lake witch, but after the crash, their mortar stops working. Once again, the brother and sister start arguing. During the argument, Hansel reads Gretel's diary. He discovers that her life is filled with nothing but missions, discipline, and duty, and her biggest dream is to become the best SMCA agent. The scene shifts to Elvira. Her cupcakes return and give her Gretel's SMCA badge, informing her that two children have completely destroyed the pastry factory. Elvira loses her temper. She bakes a giant dough ball monster and orders it to kill the kids. Suddenly, a giant octopus appears, mistaking them for Elvira's spies. It drags them into the swamp, to the lake witch, the queen of the mermaids. The swamp looks like paradise. Mermaids everywhere, glowing water, pure magic. The queen is about to turn them into fish, but then her daughter notices the necklace around Gretel's neck. She recognizes it. Gretel once saved her life from the ringmaster. Realizing this, the queen apologizes. She reveals the truth. The vanilla extract is made by mermaids. Elvira kidnapped the king to gain royal power, marry him, and become queen, so she could openly practice dark magic. Elvira plans to turn everyone into servants by feeding them enchanted cookies and rule the entire world. The queen had captured Elvira's grunts and cupcakes, but they only spoke gibberish and never revealed the truth. Gretel gets an idea. She secretly releases the grunts. The three of them follow the trail and reach a deserted ruin. There, they encounter the giant dough monster. They fight it desperately. During the escape, Hansel almost falls off a cliff, but Gretel saves him. As the mission continues, their bond grows stronger. Using balloons, they lift the giant dough monster into the air and barely survive. They discover a secret passage that leads to a massive gingerbread house. The puppy distracts the grunts and cupcakes, while Gretel and Hansel secretly sneak into a moving train inside the building. Along the way, they realize they make an incredible team. Hansel feels sad, thinking Gretel achieved her dream while he earned no respect. Gretel comforts him, explaining that she earned her success through hard work, just like he can. They share an emotional moment. Disguised as cupcakes, they finally find the king, but when they ask him to leave, he refuses. They realize Elvira has already fed him love cookies. The king is completely under her spell. Gretel understands Elvira's true plan. She wants to marry the king, become queen, force the entire kingdom to eat her cookies, turn everyone into servants, and rule the world. And to prepare for that, Elvira has already built a giant pastry shop in the city. Gretel tries to sneak the king away by pretending to give him more love cookies. But suddenly, the king recognizes Hansel. He remembers that Hansel once stole his statue. Angry, the king immediately calls the royal army. At the same time, Elvira arrives. She orders her grunts to throw Gretel, Hansel, and the puppy into the giant cookie oven, then rides away with the king toward the castle. Trapped inside the oven, Gretel completely loses it. She blames Hansel. "If you weren't a thief, our plan would have worked." That's when Hansel finally breaks down. He tells her the truth. After their parents died, they became poor, and everything he ever stole, he did it for her, so she could chase her dream, so she could become the best agent. The moment hits hard. Gretel realizes how wrong she was. She apologizes. They hug not as agents, but as brother and sister. Hansel jumps onto a balloon inside the oven and manages to pull Gretel and the puppy out through the ceiling. In the kitchen, Gretel finds the love cookie recipe and decides to create an antidote. Together, they prepare it. But they're missing one final ingredient, a firebird feather. Then Gretel remembers. The phoenix once gave her a feather. She adds it. The antidote works. The trio rides a dragon toward the castle. Hansel lights up the anti-step bubbles, making the return path easy. Gretel is genuinely impressed. Even without being an agent, Hansel thinks like one. At the castle, Elvira hands out cookies along with wedding invitations. Everyone is under her spell. The wedding begins. Hansel and Gretel arrive, but guards block them. Hansel uses his tricks to create a distraction, while Gretel injects the antidote into the king. The king wakes up, but Elvira forcefully kisses him, puts on the crown, and controls everyone with her dark magic. Gretel rushes toward the giant source cookie, planning to mix the antidote so everyone can be saved. But Elvira captures Hansel. She threatens Gretel. "If you don't give me the antidote, I'll throw him into the dough bowl." For the first time ever, Gretel chooses family over duty. She hands over the antidote, but Elvira is evil. She breaks her promise and throws Hansel anyway. Gretel jumps in after him. Inside the dough bowl, Hansel pulls out a magic ball he once stole from stepdaughter. It transforms into a gas balloon. They escape. Fighting Elvira together, they trap her inside the magic ball, which rolls, launches off the tower, and sends her flying into the sky, right back into her own dough ball. Thousands of cookies fly out across the kingdom. Everyone eats them and returns to normal. The king hugs both siblings tightly. They didn't just save him, they saved the entire kingdom from evil magic. Stepdaughter restores Gretel and Hansel to their original age. The king awards Gretel the title of best agent. Stepmother offers Hansel a sorcerer license, but he refuses. Magic was never his strength, heart was. As celebrations continue, Stepmother assigns Gretel a new secret mission. Hansel quietly turns to leave, until Gretel stops everyone. She says, "I won't take any mission without my partner." Everyone is shocked, because Gretel always worked alone, but not anymore, not without her brother, and that's where the movie ends. Sometimes the strongest magic isn't spells or powers, it's family, trust, and choosing the right heart. If this story made you smile even once, hit subscribe, it means more than you think. And if it touched your heart, share it with someone who believes in a little magic too.